Hey, Miss Tammy. Say hi to our minions, our little minions out there. Guess what we're fixing to go do?
Pick up our new baby.
We're fixing to go pick up a new baby.
Yeah.
So when we've done this video,
Christian developed this is a baby.
yes,
It's a Polar Junior's.
little Polar Junior's son.
Boy.
We'll do a little shout out with him, with Kirsten.
We don't know what we're going to name him
Kirsten,
yet.
I never get the name right. Kirsten, we know her so well.
But you didn't say what he is.
He is. Well, you
A
tell us.
platinum, full visual, fluffy little boy, ATA.
Yes, very special.
Yeah.
And by the way, we just finished doing a video that we're uploading on our full fluffies, and so he would be a fantastic candidate to breed one of these girls back to. But more on that here in the next video. So this is Q&A stuff. It's not really about that. So here we go. I'm holding on to this because we're running down the road here.
We're on
So
fire.
Miles Horvath says, when tube feeding newborn puppies under 1 week old, how often do you feed them? Every 2 or 4 hours? P.S. I love your channel. Well, right in the middle of that's what we do. We do it every 3 hours. We do what their weight is in ounces. So an 8-ounce puppy would get 8 mils or cc's every 3 hours. But here's the thing to watch out for. And by the way, we've just been through this because we had a litter of 9 puppies, of which 4 of them were 5-ounce puppies, and so we're now a week later and we're to 8 ounces. So we're
We had one under 5 ounces.
yeah, we did. So it was. I wouldn't say it's a struggle, but it's definitely work, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to get up in the middle of the night a couple of times for a whole week. But the point here is,
Every 3 hours is what you did.
every 3 hours. If a puppy's got a full belly, maybe you skip the feeding if it's nursing on mum. So what we do is we put mum and babies together 24/7. We didn't separate them. If you've got them in an incubator and you separate them, look, you can feed them whatever their body weight is in ounces, in cc's. So 10-ounce puppy, 10 cc's every 3 hours. If they're with mum, like ours were, getting fed off mum too, be a little careful. What I do is when I'm putting I've got the tube down in their tummy, I'm squishing on the tube, the last third I go slow. If I see any milk coming back up, I stop immediately. And by the way, when you pull the tube out, don't pull it out too fast because you can drag milk up and have their esophagus open and they can vomit some milk. So be a little careful. I had that happen to me a couple of times. All right. Sonia Williams says, I'm looking at a lilac, big B, little d, little d, little co, little co. He cannot produce Isabella. Correct. Yes, you are correct. Because if he was going to produce Isabella, he'd have to be testable chocolate. Little b, He's not. He is what we now call cocoa. What is the purpose of the cocoa? Well, it's chocolate, just like the little
Regular
bees are.
chocolate. Yeah.
Yep, it's just what we used to call untestable chocolate. Majority of Frenchies are little co dogs. And by the way, they will have a red eye glow, whether they are little b testable or little co cocoa. So the cocoa comes in and says, yes, he is testable chocolate. Well, I'm not sure quite what you're telling us there, but no, that's not testable chocolate. That is what we call untestable chocolate, or now cocoa. So there is a difference, and there's a difference in price too. So, you know, people are trying to produce these, what we call new shades. Yeah,
That's
new
2
shades.
of everything.
Yeah, what's a new shade?
2
Tell us.
copies of cocoa, 2 copies of testable, 2 copies of blue.
Exactly. That's a new shade.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more of this. So she talks about going to UC Davis. So look, here's the deal. If you go to Animal Genetics, this is the people that we really like. If you go to Animal Genetics, there you'll take GoPros, right?
Why?
Because we're going to go to the bank.
The bank is on further.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. See,
James, you don't know.
I don't.
You don't know. That's why I drive and
That's right.
you don't.
you know what we didn't get?
What?
Oh no, we did. Did we get that envelope with the DNA test results? Darn it. Well, we'll figure that in a moment. Anyway, sorry, getting sidetracked. Look, here's the thing about if you go to Animal Genetics and you do a complete coat color test for $130, they test for both. They test for the little b and they test for the little co. So you get it all. You go to UC Davis, you have to specify the little co. They charge you more money. And not that I'm necessarily bashing UC Davis. I've never used them. One thing I do know about UC Davis, and especially VetGen, is they take forever to get results back.
Yeah. But it's to each his own.
last one. I think I answered that one the other day. Do you think it's best to have... James, why do you think it's best to have a C-section for French Bulldogs? Right, so Tammy, you want to have a stab at that one?
Well, number one, if you've got babies that are going to have big heads, French Bulldogs are known for big heads. Mama dogs, the French Bulldogs are built smaller in the back area, so you take chances on a baby getting stuck. And to me, it's not worth it. You could possibly stress out the mama dog trying to have this puppy, and it's stressing, and you could lose her. You could lose the whole litter. So it's not worth it to me. I mean, you know, but if you've done it successfully, go right at it. But I will always do C-section.
So somebody who is going to try and have a natural birth, I'd say this. Number one, it needs to be a bigger girl bred to a smaller stud. Number two, you need to do an x-ray a few days beforehand to see how many puppies you're going to have, physically what their head size is versus the opening in the hips.
Because you could possibly go home, or not go home, but possibly later on in the night have another puppy that you don't know about. And
you don't have a count, right? You don't have a count. You don't have a count. You need to know what the count is. You need to know whether there's a big puppy in there. So
just check with your vet to make sure everything's good to go if you're going to do natural. But
well, I say on this front, some of the vets say do it and they don't know.
Yeah.
So this is also part of the problem. You're relying on your vet to know the answer. We know the answer, and the answer is this: you're risking things if you decide not to do a C-section. We always do C-sections.
Well, we've had accidents.
We have had
probably
accidents.
3 times in the 17 years that we've been doing this, and it scared me to death both times having those babies. It just worried me to no end. And even though they came out okay, I still do C-section.
We have small studs, but we've got small girls too.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing: if you're going to do this, go get yourself prepared. Get a puppy care kit, and then get that dog's rear end slathered up with Vaseline before you ever start. Get that dog lubed up really well. But again, there's a reason why most people have C-section with French Bulldogs, and it's because of the problems of a stuck puppy. And a stuck puppy could be a dead puppy, and that's a sad day. So there's the answer on that one.
And if you get a stuck puppy, the thing is to do is take a rag and wrap it around it. And, you know, lube it all up there and just...
What can you give a pregnant female? This is Desi Melchor says, question, what can you give a pregnant female with allergies? She just started when she got pregnant. Ooh, I've got lots of replies here. Let's see what the replies say. Yeah, well, so...
Hang on to that, please.
Yep. So I suspect that if she hasn't had allergy problems and she's having them now, it's hormones going rampant because she's pregnant. And that with any luck, the whole thing will resolve itself after she's had her puppies.
Hormones is a horrible thing.
So, yeah, so part of what I'd say here is be careful about giving anything medication-wise to a pregnant dog. I would err on the conservative side. And it depends on, you know, is this a food allergy? If there's an allergy to pollen? You know, we don't know enough about what you tried to do and what this is, but I would be careful about, I mean, obviously you can do things like food change, you can give them medicated shampoo baths, you can do all those kind of things completely safe. You can not let them go outside where maybe they're getting, you know, there's cedar trees or something that's causing, you know, pollen's causing the issue. These things are completely safe. But I would be very cautious about giving a pregnant dog something, especially since it might resolve itself. So there we go.
Okay, hang on to that one more time.
And there's lots of comments in here, of which they look like they're sensible. And the other thing about this, and someone made a comment here, is the kind of thing that can happen here, and they're correct about this, is the kind of thing that can happen is that a dog that's been absolutely bouncy, a dog that's been not had any problems at all of a sudden can develop an allergic reaction to things like yeast and things like that because its hormones are kind of out of whack. So again, err on the side of I would err on the side of being conservative. I just had an AI at a female, progesterone levels 85.2. Does very high. Does that mean that she may be pregnant? No, it doesn't. Progesterone levels do not predict anything to do with whether a dog is pregnant or not. If a dog is, you know, gallon?
No, it's $2.65 there.
Oh.
I'm looking at gas prices.
Okay.
Imagine that.
What have we got here? 10 minutes, a couple more here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hang on.
okay, someone's talking here about I have a lab that's 61 days pregnant. Just in the last week, she's been looking like she's having a prolapse. Any advice? Well, I mean, one thing that you can do in a prolapse situation is you can elect to have a C-section, and that fixes the whole thing. The danger on a prelapse. A prolapse is where, by the way, is where part of the vaginal wall telescopes out and comes out the back end of the dog. And a prolapse by itself, normally they occur when the dog first goes into heat, and most of the time those things just go away. But the problem gets to be is if you have a prolapse at the other end where the dog's going to have puppies, literally can get part of its insides coming out. And the one thing that you can do in that situation is to have a C-section. I would do a visit to your vet and discuss it with them about what to do, because you can always start having the whelp, and then if it starts to get worse, stop and have a C-section done. But you've got to have a vet on board for that, so you better be planning that ahead of time.
I think I go straight. I can't remember.
I think I've answered these. I think that's it. Well, we've got 11 and a half minutes of your time that we wasted. That's probably enough, isn't it?
Yep. Remember, call me, my full visual fluffies. They're here. They've been here for a week. We just were making sure Mama was relaxed and babies are doing great.
Well, we had some small puppies in there too.
Yeah.
9 puppies, a couple of 4 or 5 ounces.
6 girls, 4 boys.
Yep. So that video is being uploaded. It'll probably be uploaded. Maybe by the time you've seen this, it will already be uploaded. Anyway.
Lilac and tans, chocolate and tans, and maybe a little platinum.
Yeah, maybe a black and tan too. Yeah. So as always, we appreciate the fact that you spend your valuable time watching us nattering on. Mm-hmm. And if you do like us nattering on, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us. If you think if we think we're full of crap, let us know that too, because hey, we know that we're full of crap some of the time. All right, Tammy, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.